Taking a look at the iDrop Web 2 browser with the HIVE integration, and we're going to show a little bit of progress for this last iteration. So we're in the Browse tab now, and let's go ahead and click the Home icon. This takes us into our home directory, and we'll select this GFC demo folder. And there's a bird bill study collection under here. So what we want to do is we'll pick one of these files. So this is a data object. It's a Word document. It contains some information about this bird bill study. So you can see here's our HIVE tab. And what we want to do is select HIVE, and this is going to allow us to annotate using the HIVE system SKOS control vocabulary terms that we want to apply to this document. We've only got one document loaded in here right now, so if there were more than one vocabularies, you could select amongst them, but we'll pick agravoc. And this takes us into the HIVE browser. Okay, so right now when we're looking at the browser, we see sort of what we call a pivot view. Across the top here, you can choose other vocabularies or go back to the top of the tree. This tells you that if I want to navigate around, I can go ahead and start selecting terms. So we're at the top of the tree, so we have here narrower terms going down here, and then broader and related terms. But again, we're at the top of the tree, so let's pick just a random letter here. So let's look at dormancy and biological rhythms. And as you can see here, as we click around related terms, we'll go to life cycle. You can see that becomes the current term. You can see its preferred and alternative labels as well as its actual SKOS URI. And let's decide that we wanted to tag this bird bill study with life cycle. So since that is the currently selected term, we can apply it. Okay, and then we'll add a comment so we can actually annotate our vocabulary selections. We actually store this along with the other metadata. So we're going to say video demo and update. Okay, and so what we had seen this previously, but if we click on metadata, you can see here that we have now 3 terms, and they're specially tagged with this unit that says they're a HIVE vocabulary term. And we have the actual URI of the agravoc vocabulary terms here, and then we have some information in the value that talks about the vocabulary where it came from, its preferred label, and then comments that we type there in the dialog box. Okay, so back to the HIVE tab, another thing to note is the search, and the interesting thing about the search is it's cross vocabulary. So for example, if I pick the word bird and I search, it's actually going to find any loaded vocabularies that have that term and display them here. So let's go with nest boxes. Okay, so these are the search results, and I've selected nest boxes. You can see down here that it's my current term. And let's go ahead and apply that because this is about bird nests too. So we're going to say this is about birds. Okay, so then we update it. So again, this is all stored as metadata within iRODS. Now we have a process, an indexer process that's part of our HIVE development that will go through iRODS collections and look for any collections and data objects that are marked up as HIVE vocabulary terms. It extracts that information as well as information about iRODS and about the loaded vocabularies, and it's populating a Jena triple store. And so what we have here now is we've added a HIVE search, and this is still sort of in demo mode. And what we have here is a query by term and just some pre-populated sample queries. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. It populates this. We're querying for data objects and collections that are marked up with this HIVE vocabulary term. And I select search, and it shows me the results. So you can see here the bird bill study and this Excel spreadsheet are marked with that term. So I can, for example, click this icon and download that Excel spreadsheet. And you can see it loading in the background. I can also click on the folder icon, and that will take me in Browse View to the iRODS folder, the iRODS that contains this collection that's been marked up. Going back to the search, what we wanted to illustrate too is these searches are actually SPARQL under the cover. So if I select the second demo query, search for related terms, so now we have this term 3208, and when I select search, you'll find it found a document that is marked with 8331. So that's just an example of using SPARQL. You can query sort of for rich metadata, and that includes both metadata that you can infer from the SKOS vocabulary term and its relationships, but also the metadata that we're building in terms of an RDF representation of the iRODS catalog. So we'll be making this more elaborate as we go. We'd also added a direct SPARQL query. So if you knew the SPARQL terms, you could actually enter direct SPARQL queries here and get back JSON data. Again, that's for demo here. So what we'll be working on in next steps is replicating that content, the browser, the content browser that we use to navigate around the HIVE vocabulary trees in the search pane, so that when you arrive at a term, then you can do searches on that term or related terms and so forth. So that's still work to do, and we will do some elaborations too, so you can do direct SPARQL queries. So anyways, that's pretty powerful. So now we have sort of a complete life cycle for marking up, indexing, and then a start here at searching for iRODS metadata based on controlled vocabulary terms defined by SKOS.